Four separate announcements dropped within days of each other. On the surface, they look unrelated. A new workspace for scientists, a custom computer chip, an OpenAI model from a country most people never associate with technology, and a search engine comeback nobody asked for. But here's what almost everyone got wrong. These aren't four separate stories. They're four pieces of the same puzzle. And when you connect them, you start to see something that should make every major tech company very, very nervous. Let me show you what I mean. We need to start with the announcement that reveals where all of this is heading, and it's not the one you'd expect. The United Arab Emirates just released an AI system called K2 Think. Now, before you scroll past thinking this doesn't affect you, listen to this. They didn't just release the model. They published everything. The training data, the algorithms, the code. Every single decision that went into building it. Why does that matter? Because the biggest AI companies in the world have been moving in the exact opposite direction. OpenAI used to publish their research. Now they guard it like state secrets. Google rarely shares what's under the hood. Even companies that claim to be open typically just let you use their models without showing you how they work. The UAE just called everyone's bluff. And here's the part that should worry Silicon Valley. Independent testing found K2 Think performs at the same level as equivalent systems from NVIDIA, OpenAI, and Alibaba. It scored particularly high on accuracy, meaning it makes fewer things up. They built this for a fraction of what American and Chinese labs spend, using fewer than 2,000 chips. This isn't a vanity project. This is a country saying we refuse to depend on foreign AI systems, and we're proving we don't have to. But that's only one front in this war. Because while countries are racing for AI independence, something else is happening that could reshape the entire economics of artificial intelligence. And it involves a chip you've probably never heard of. Microsoft just unveiled custom silicon called Maya 200. Now, chips might sound boring, but stay with me because this is where the money is. Every time you ask an AI a question, every chatbot response, every image generation, something has to actually run those calculations. That's called inference. And right now, NVIDIA dominates that market. We're talking 92% market share. They're the toll booth that almost every AI company has to pay to operate. Microsoft just built their own road. They're claiming Maya 200 delivers 3 times the performance of Amazon's best chip and beats Google's latest processor on key metrics. 30% better performance per dollar than comparable options. Now here's why this matters beyond Microsoft's profit margins. If the cost of running AI drops significantly, everything changes. Services get cheaper. Smaller companies can compete. Applications that weren't economically viable suddenly become possible. But there's a catch most people aren't talking about. Building chips is one thing. Building an ecosystem is another. NVIDIA didn't become dominant just because their hardware is good. Developers know how to use it. Software is optimized for it. The entire AI industry speaks NVIDIA's language. Microsoft is essentially asking people to learn a new language. That's a massive bet that could take years to pay off, if it ever does. So we have countries building sovereign AI. We have tech giants trying to break free from NVIDIA. And now we need to talk about what happens when AI stops being a tool you visit and becomes a tool that lives inside your work. This is where things get personal. OpenAI just launched something called Prism. It's a workspace built specifically for scientists, and it's free for anyone with a ChatGPT account. Now I know what you're thinking. Another AI writing tool. We've seen dozens of these. But Prism does something different that most people are overlooking. Traditional AI assistants work like a consultant you hire for one conversation. You paste in some text, get feedback, and that's it. They have no memory of your larger project. Prism works more like a research partner who's read your entire manuscript. It can see your paper's full structure, all your references, your equations, your figures. When it makes suggestions, those suggestions are grounded in the complete context of what you're trying to accomplish. Scientists can turn whiteboard sketches into proper diagrams. Handwritten equations become formatted text automatically. Citations update across an entire document when you make changes. OpenAI says they're already seeing over 8 million messages per week on advanced science topics. That's not hobbyists. That's the research community quietly integrating AI into how knowledge gets created. But here's the implication: nobody's discussing openly. If AI can genuinely accelerate scientific discovery, what happens to the traditional academic system? Peer review, publishing timelines. The entire prestige economy built around who discovers what first. These structures evolved over centuries, assuming humans work at human speed. What happens when that assumption breaks? Now there's one more piece to this puzzle, and it involves a company most people wrote off years ago. Yahoo just launched an AI search engine called Scout. Yes, Yahoo. The company your parents used in the 90s. Scout doesn't return a list of links. It synthesizes direct answers using Claude, the AI made by Anthropic, combined with Microsoft's search technology and Yahoo's own data on roughly 500 million user profiles. On paper, this sounds like every other AI search tool. But Yahoo has something Google doesn't. Decades of specialized content in finance, sports, news, and shopping, already organized and ready to be integrated. They're not trying to beat Google at general search. They're targeting the specific moments when people actually want answers rather than websites. Stock analysis, product comparisons, sports statistics, weather context before a trip. This is the unbundling of search happening in real time. We're assuming these shifts will happen gradually, that we'll have time to adapt. But look at the timeline. 4 major announcements in a single week. A year ago, we'd see maybe one development like this per month. The pace isn't just accelerating, it's compounding. Each breakthrough enables the next one faster. And most people, most companies, even most governments aren't updating their assumptions quickly enough. Now step back and look at the full picture. Countries are building sovereign AI to reduce dependence on foreign systems. Cloud providers are building custom chips to reduce dependence on NVIDIA. Productivity tools are embedding AI directly into workflows, rather than keeping it in a separate chat window. And search is fragmenting into specialized AI assistants. The common thread? Everyone is trying to escape someone else's control. This isn't just competition. This is the entire AI landscape reorganizing around a single realization. Whoever controls the infrastructure, the chips, the models, and the interfaces controls the future. What we're watching is the early stages of that fight. And here's the question nobody can answer yet. When the dust settles, will AI be controlled by a handful of companies, distributed across dozens of nations, or something else entirely? This isn't just competition. This is the entire AI landscape reorganizing around a single realization. What happens next depends on which of these bets actually pays off. And honestly, anyone who tells you they know for certain how this ends isn't paying close enough attention. Stay tuned. This is moving faster than anyone predicted. Alright, that's it for this one. Drop your take in the comments if you enjoyed this. Hit like, subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.